Let's start this again. Hi everyone, my name is Mignon Cobra. For those of you who are new to my channel, I make minimalist videos. Okay, so today I want to talk about chasing material things and how it doesn't bring you happiness. So just a little quick background info on me. I used to be a really big consumerist and I used to shop all the time. I used to spend all my money and just blow it all, and I never had anything at the end of the month. I was broke all the time. It was awful. So it kind of got to a point where, like, as I started to get, I graduated from university and I started adulting and I started really asking myself, like, where am I going with, with my life? You need money, and I didn't seem to have any at all the time, and I was just always filled with like desire for, like, wanting this and wanting that, and like I was just so sick of it. I was just so sick of always wanting new things and never being satisfied. I was tired of never being satisfied. So that kind of brings me into the first point. We all have a void inside of us. So the void is different for everyone. We all have different, desires and wants. I'm not talking needs, because needs is like, drinking water and eating food, but like voids, like things that we want to fill inside. Things that we want to fill, kind of like on an abstract level. So for some people, they try to fill this void with, like, with love from others, or with purchasing material things, accumulating material things, drugs, food. But let's talk about like the other three, of which two I was kind of using to fill in voids in myself. So I grew up poor, so like I was on welfare. Like my family grew up on welfare up until my mom went to university and got an education, and then our like social situation improved. But I could never have things that I wanted, so the only void that the way that I could like fill my void was like with eating. So I got quite chubby. I changed up my lifestyle, and I no longer filled the void in with food. I then turned it into filling it with material things, trying to look good now that like my body looked good. So I was always buying new clothes, new jewelry, new whatever to like fill in that void, and it was just, I was never really happy. I was asking myself, like, questioning, is chasing these material things really bringing me happiness? And it wasn't. I was never satisfied. And for those of you who might have been in my shoes, not being satisfied, no matter how much effort you put in, is a really like empty feeling. There's 3 things that we can do to fill in the void that doesn't involve chasing material things and will actually bring you more happiness. Let's get right into it. So number 1, physical exercise. Physical exercise. Being fit is going to do you more, of course within moderation. Being fit is going to benefit you a whole lot more than it is going to hurt you. So working out has a lot of like health benefits. The first one being you're going to get healthier and you're going to look better, and the other one is that you release dopamine in your brain, and you're doing something that's for your benefit, and it doesn't involve consuming material things, and at the end of it you feel accomplished and you'll feel happier. Okay, number 2, creating things. So when we take material things and we use that to try to fill in the void, all it does is create a bigger void. Or consuming food, that disappears the next day. So when you create something, when you wake up, it's still there the next day, and so you can continue it. So there's kind of like this, you put in and it stays there. It doesn't just evaporate. It's something outside of just you consuming, because once you've purchased or consumed something, the act of purchasing it has finished. So to get that same high or feeling you get from purchasing stuff or consuming stuff, you got to do it again in repetition, because it disappears after. But when you create things, your creation, it will still be there the next day. When you paint and you wake up the next day, your painting, whether finished or unfinished, will still be there. Number 3, or I guess number 3, it's not really a tip, is meditation. So meditation essentially makes you comfortable with the emptiness inside. So the whole point of meditation is to kind of confront the void. I already listed 2 things, exercising to fill in the void and creating things to fill in the void. But if you confront the void, you eliminate that fear. You eliminate that, oh, I don't really like the void, I'm going to try to fill it in so there won't be a void. But when you meditate, you are in the nothing, and when you meditate and you seek meditation, you seek the nothing. So you can learn to be content in the nothing, in the void. And when you do that, you no longer seek things to fill it in, because it's not something you feel you need to seek anymore. You can accept that you do have desires and wants and needs, and you don't need to always have to fulfill them. You can be okay with having the desire. You don't have that kind of like angst inside of you thinking, I really need to fill this. And that's like very monk-like kind of thing to think of, but it really does help. You know, I'm not very big on meditation, but my mom is really big on meditation, and that has really helped her cope with a lot of like stressors in her life. I found actually the other week I had an extremely stressful week, and to the point where nothing was filling in the void. You know, I was just stressed out to the point where I couldn't eat. My stomach was in knots. Buying things, I just didn't want to look at anything. I didn't want to be at the mall. Everything looked like, you know, when you're really stressed out, you look at the world through like gray lenses. That's what was happening to me. And actually the only thing that ended up calming me down was meditating, because I told my mom about my situation, and she said, you know what, why don't you try meditating? And I was like, ugh, I hate meditating. I find it so boring. Like, I sit there and I twitch, and I feel anxious to have to do something. But I was so stressed out to the point where I just needed to focus on just being still and being nothing and having a blank mind. Oh, and it was amazing. I felt a lot more clarity after I meditated. I no longer feel the desire to have to purchase material things. You know, that's not true. I still do. I'd love to get the latest iPhone. But the thing is, these desires no longer control me. I'm aware that I have these desires, but I have other things that I value now, other things that I prioritize. You know, I prioritize my happiness. I prioritize the ability to have, you know, a financial safety net. Or just even I prioritize using my time for things that actually really matter to me, instead of just having to always, you know, for example, back when I was still working, I now with my new mindset, I won't work just to use the money to spend it on material things. I'll use my time, my free time, to do other things that do bring me joy, and the money that I worked for, I can put it away and create a safety net or invest or do something else with it, much more financially productive than just going out and buying more and more stuff. So yeah, there we have it. Alright, so that kind of wraps up my video. Those are 3 things that I really recommend using to help fill in the void. These are things that I personally use and has really helped me be much more productive and focused and at peace than I ever have in the past. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy this video, give it a thumbs down. That lets me know what you guys like to watch. And yeah, if you want to leave any comments down below, I greatly appreciate it. I always reply to comments. So yeah, I guess till next time. See ya. Bye.